Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for today's free webinar hosted by Prevention Plus Wellness LLC, located here in beautiful St. Augustine, Florida. It's 87 already. Oof, it's gonna be it's gonna be hot today. Hot and humid, but it is a beautiful sunny day. And luckily, we've been getting a lot of rain on and off. So my banana plants are looking great and everything looks good out there. So it's all good. I hope it's nice where you're at and everyone's safe and happy. And thanks for joining us. I know a lot of you are on summer break, so I really appreciate those of you that can join us today. Today's topic, as you can see, is evidence-based model for integrating substance use prevention with the promotion of physical activity and other healthy behaviors. So a lot to show you today. And as always, or as usual, I will be sending everyone who's registered the slides for today's webinar and the link for the recorded webinar session, which you are welcome to share widely among your friends and colleagues in your region or your state or even your nation. So, and you'll get a certificate for 1 hour CEU. So let's jump right into it. By the way, for those of you that don't know who I am, I'm Dr. Chudley Wirch. I'm the CEO and the founder at Prevention Plus Wellness. By the way, next week, we will not have a webinar because I'll be in Orlando at the National CADCA Mid-Year Conference. So if you're planning to go to that conference, which starts next week next week Sunday, please do look us up. We are having a booth, or they call actually a table. Prevention Plus Wellness will have a table, so do come by and say hi and join us and chat with us at the table. That's the CADCA Mid-Year Conference in Orlando starting next Sunday. So today's topics, 3 objectives for today. You'll be able to identify why youth and young adults really need to receive communications and programs and strategies that are designed not only to prevent substance use, but also promote sports and physical activities and other health promoting behaviors. Secondly, we will review research. We will review evidence-based programs, some evidence-based programs that already are available that integrate substance use prevention with fitness and health promotion for youth and young adults. And then thirdly, I'm going to walk you through our 3-step evidence-based model for creating strategies and communication that integrate prevention with wellness promotion. Okay, that's what we'll be doing in today's session. So let's start with the problem at hand. And the problem certainly is substance use, as you can see by this chart, which we show quite often. You can see that these are the percentage of ever using individual or particular substances. This data is from the Youth Risk Behavior Survey data, most recent version 2019 for the most part. And you can see if you look at the bottom of this chart, 6 out of 10 adolescents have used alcohol sometime in their life. Half have vaped e-cigarettes. Almost 1 in 4 have used marijuana, and so forth. So definitely youth at risk for various substances, particularly alcohol, e-cigarettes, and marijuana, followed by regular cigarettes and opioids. At the same time, young people, adolescents, based on, again, Youth Risk Behavior Survey data, there's a national data for all high school adolescents, and you're seeing that there's a number of other health risk behaviors. These are largely associated with chronic disease development over time. So for example, you could see that the required amount of sleeping for most organizations, health and fitness organizations, 8 hours for older adolescents, 8 or more hours, I should say. And you could see that almost 3/4 of high school adolescents are not getting 8 or more hours of sleep. So they're lacking in sleep. And if you look down the chart, you'll see that only not even a quarter, 23% are getting the required amount of physical activity that's recommended every day. That's an hour of aerobic and non-aerobic physical activity. They're not getting that 1 hour of physical activity every day. Again, over 3/4 are not getting the required amount of physical activity. If you look at breakfast eating, only a third of US adolescents are eating breakfast every day. And of course, that doesn't tell us how healthy that breakfast is. If that's a healthy breakfast with 3 or more different servings of food, for example. And while youth should be, as adults, should be getting approximately 3 vegetables a day, 2 fruits a day, you can see that 42% of US adolescents are eating less than 1 fruit and veggie a day. So a lot, and then of course you can see drinking soda, etc. Lots of health risks associated with chronic disease, and both physical and mental health are prevalent among US adolescents. There was a great study, I think, published, what was the year? I'm trying to look for that publication. Oh, 2016. National study that looked at multiple health risk behaviors among American adolescents, found they're very common, and that only 4.2% of American adolescents met all 8 health behavior guidelines. So it's very rare that American adolescents are engaging in all the healthy behaviors. And in fact, over 10%, over 1 in 10, had greater than 5 risk behaviors at age 16, which would indicate that, of course, that percentage would grow over time, because we do know as they age to 17 and 18, so on. So we do know risk increases with age. This study also found that not eating fruit and vegetables, not eating breakfast, being overweight or obese, and being physically inactive, and smoking all predicted other health risks. So you can see these health risks correlate with each other, these health risk behaviors. So prevention targeting multiple risk behaviors among adolescents is what these authors recommended for all US adolescents. To make this to make this point even more clear, let's take a look at some relationships between adolescent sports participation and health behaviors and substance use. Now, in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to look at ever smoking cigarettes and current use of alcohol. Of course, there's a lot of measures of substance use on the Youth Risk Behavior Survey database. This is the CDC interactive database. You could run your own crosstabs if you want. What we're looking at here are high school adolescents, all high school adolescents in the United States, most recent data 2019. And what we're going to look at are associations, again, between sport and other health behaviors, and 2 measures of substance use. Ever using cigarettes, ever smoking cigarettes, and then the second measure, current alcohol use. So let's look at some relationships. These are all significant relationships. In other words, they're likely to be real rather than just by chance occurrences. So playing on a sport team. For those youth playing on a sport team, which is the far left, 22% of those reported ever smoking cigarettes. Those not on a sport team, almost 27% ever smoked cigarettes. So you can see there's a relationship with sports and less smoking cigarettes. Then there was a relationship between eating breakfast and ever smoking cigarettes, with high school adolescents in the United States eating breakfast every day, less likely to have smoked cigarettes. Same thing with sleep. Those youth, high school adolescents in the US getting 8 or more hours of sleep, less likely to have ever smoked cigarettes. So we can see these relationships between sports and breakfast and sleep, and less likelihood of smoking regular cigarettes. Now let's look at the measure of current alcohol use. A little bit different relationship here. Those youth that played on a sport team actually were more likely. There are greater numbers of youth who's played on a sport team who currently drank alcohol than those not on a sport team. Those on a sport team, 32% currently drink alcohol. Those not on a sport team, about 27% drink alcohol. So looks like there's a greater risk among current alcohol use for those youth on sport teams. However, again, the same, I would say, a positive relationship with breakfast. Youth eating breakfast, less likely to current drink alcohol. Those getting 8 or more hours of sleep, less likely to currently drink alcohol. So what can we conclude from these analyses that we ran for you? Prevention and health specialists, coaches, family members, anybody who interacts with youth really should promote sports and breakfast eating and sleep to prevent cigarette use, and even and particularly sleep and breakfast to prevent current alcohol use. However, under number 2 there, however, alcohol use prevention should be included for youth in PE classes, physical education classes, and in sports, because there may be an increased risk for those youth for alcohol use. So addressing alcohol use prevention in sports and PE, really good idea, because there may be increased risk for current alcohol use. That's what the crosstab showed. That's what looking at the actual US adolescent data. Let's take this look at this from another perspective. Let's again look at sports and health behaviors in relation to mental health. Of course, we just looked at sports and health behaviors in relation to substance use. Now let's look at mental health. 2 measures of mental health in this case. One is feeling sad, so sad or hopeless that youth could not engage in some of their daily activities. Very important measure, a very, I think, a very significant mental health measure. And then the other, seriously considering suicide, of course, also very important mental health indicator. So let's take a look at it. Playing on a sports team, those who played on a sports team, less likely to report feeling sad or I can see there's a layer there, feeling sad, or slept 8 or more, feeling sad or hopeless. I need to change that. So just to make sure you understand this, playing on a sports team was associated with less likelihood of feeling sad or hopeless. 60 minutes of physical activity 5 days a week associated with less feeling sad or hopeless. And again, eating breakfast associated positively in that there's less sad and hopelessness. And sleep, again, positively associated in that those getting 8 or more hours of sleep less likely to feel sad and hopeless. How about considering suicide? Seriously considering suicide. Again, we see a very positive relationship. Those who play in a sports team, less likely to consider suicide. Those getting 60 minutes of physical activity 5 days or more, less likely to consider suicide. Eating breakfast, associated with less likely to seriously consider suicide, and those getting sleep. So in conclusion, sports participation, physical activity, breakfast consumption, and sleep should be promoted by those of us who work with youth, parents and professionals, coaches, teachers, etc., to possibly improve really important indicators of mental health. That is, reducing hopelessness and sadness, reducing considering suicide or suicide ideation, if you will. Let's look at one more set of relationships, sports and the physical activity in this case, and physical health. We're going to look at 2 measures, obesity and fruit and vegetable consumption. So what's the relationship between sports and physical activity and physical health as measured by obesity and fruit and vegetable consumption. Those that play in a sport team, less likely to have be obese. Those who played on a sport team, more likely to eat 3 or more vegetables a day. I should say eat 3 or more vegetables. Eat vegetables 3 or more times a day. Same thing, I guess. Those who play in a sport team more likely to eat fruit 2 or more times a day. Now let's look at physical activities. 60 minutes, those youth getting 60 minutes physical activity 5 or more times a day, less likely to be obese. 60 minutes of physical activity associated with more vegetable consumption and also more fruit consumption. So in conclusion, again, implications being sports participation, physical activity should be promoted by prevention and health and fitness and sports professionals and parents to improve physical health as measured by less obesity and more fruit and vegetable consumption, which are so greatly needed and underconsumed by typical US adolescents. So really good things. Let's take a look further at the benefits of youth sports and physical activity. Now, it's sort of interesting. I found that oftentimes you'll see youth sports focused on just sports and not address the broader issue of physical activity and vice versa. So in this case, this comes from the President's Council on Sports and Fitness and Nutrition Science Board of 2020. And I think the focus was, if I recall, benefits of youth sports. I added physical activity because I want this message should be broad to youth. Okay, there are some youth that are sports oriented, but remember, everybody, all youth are recommended to get 1 hour of physical activity, moving their body every day for a lot of positive reasons. And let's take a look at them. Here's some of them right here. Mental, emotional, and social benefits. You can see there's 10 of them there. Lower rates of anxiety and depression. That alone is critical, given that we see this uptick in mental health. In fact, I just saw, I think it was SAMHSA or CDC just reported, just announced yesterday that there's an upcoming webinar on, quote unquote, the crisis of youth mental health. So sports physical activities associated with lower rates of anxiety, depression, lower stress, higher self-esteem and confidence, reduced risk of suicide. We saw that in the data we just ran. Less substance abuse and other risky behaviors. We saw some of that in the data we ran. Although I will tell you, as you saw with the alcohol, sports, and to a greater extent, particularly team sports, competitive sports, and to a lesser extent, physical activity, have sort of a mixed association with substance use. Tobacco use, as you saw, those who engage in sports, less tobacco use, but it may actually increase certain kinds of sporting activities, particularly may increase the risk for alcohol use because of competition, because of conditioning, whatever the case may be. It's rather a complex message. But as we said earlier, those youth engaged in sports and those youth that are even physically active should especially be receiving substance use prevention messages, not necessarily tobacco prevention, but alcohol prevention, possibly marijuana prevention, and especially, as we've seen in some of our research and some of our blogs that we're posting recently on our website, the association with sports and greater risk for e-cigarette use. So if you haven't signed up, by the way, for our blogs and our news, please do go to our website, preventionpluswellness.com, and drop in your email and name so that you're on the list. What are some other mental and emotional and social benefits of sports and physical activities? Greater cognitive performance, creativity. Number 8, enjoyment and physical activity, psychological, emotional well-being, increased life satisfaction. Those are all really important indicators. How about physical health and benefits from sports and physical activities? These are physiological, bone health, weight status, cardiorespiratory, muscular fitness, reduced risk of cancer, diabetes, physical activity levels increased, cardiovascular fitness, decreased body fat, overall quality of life. Really important physiological measures associated with sports physical activity. How about education and career benefits? So even beyond the physical and psychological and social benefits, you've got those individuals that youth that do participate in sports, improve teamwork, social skills, social responsibility, improve life skills like goal setting, greater personal responsibility and self-control, improved educational and occupational skills, higher levels of academic achievement, greater leadership. High school athletes are more likely to attend and graduate college. Really, really good. And even beyond, in terms of lifelong participation benefits of sports and physical activities, you can see some of these: improved mental health outcomes long-term. Over half of adults who participate in sports believe that participation reduces stress and improves mental health long-term. Adolescents who play sports 8 times more likely to be physically active at age 24. You really see a drop-off when you turn to age to young adulthood, a drop off of physical activity, that sports could keep that going. And participating in sports leads to immediate psychological benefits, as we talked about earlier. Economically, sports physical activities decrease the direct and indirect and personal healthcare costs to about $28 billion to the nation each year, and a stronger long-term labor market because of individuals that are physically fit versus those that aren't. That's sports and physical activity. How about what are the benefits of youth eating healthy? These data are from CDC Healthy Schools and the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. And here's some of the findings and the benefits of eating healthy. Can help individuals achieve and maintain a healthy body weight, consume essential nutrients, and reduce the risk of developing health conditions. And you can see all these conditions from high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart disease to cancer, all the way down to dental caries. Benefits of eating a breakfast, especially. We saw that only 1 in 3 US adolescents eating a breakfast. We don't know how healthy those breakfasts are. So it's likely that even some of those that eat breakfast aren't eating a healthy breakfast, a balanced breakfast with 3 or more different food groups at a time. But those that do eat breakfast and eat a healthy breakfast, you can see the benefits: energy, along with sleep and exercise, best ways to recharge your batteries, best ways to have energy. And of course, those are the big 3, aren't they? Eating healthy, including a breakfast, daily breakfast, hour of physical activity every day, at least 8 hours of sleep every night. Also, what are some benefits of eating breakfast? Improved concentration, gives it that nutrition, that energy for brain functioning, memory, recall, so you could function at school and at work. We see the association, a strong association between eating breakfast and improved academics in terms of grades. Healthy eating is correlated with other healthy behaviors, including sleep and physical activity. They go together, they relate to each other. You start one, the others may come along. They're linked with each other. And of course, just simply in life enjoyment, tasting, learning to enjoy healthy foods. How about the benefits of sleep from the Sleep Foundation? Lots of benefits from sleep. These all, again, these big 3 correlate: physical activity and sports, sleep, and healthy breakfast and nutrition. Benefits of sleep: thinking and academic achievements. More sleep, more likely to promote attention, memory, analytical thought. Emotional health, you've all seen this in your adolescents. They're likely to not get adequate sleep, and you can see how that can negatively affect their mood, their irritability, exaggerated emotional reactions at home and at school, among their friends and among adults. Physical health and development, sleep really contributes to almost virtually every system in the body. No sleep, it really can damage the body and the brain. Sleep really is a magical pill, if you will, to promote youth development. Decision-making and risky behaviors are associated with not getting enough sleep, as are accidents and injuries. So really, sleep, very, very important. Now, all of this has resulted in these data and these reports and this research has led to Prevention Plus Wellness creating this integrative and interconnected model for promoting youth overall well-being or wellness. And it starts to the left with the blue ball, which is the SUP, that's substance use prevention. So important because of youth risk for substance use. And below that ball, the green ball, HBP, which is healthy behavior promotion, sports, the big three: physical activity and sports, breakfast and nutrition, sleep. And by adding those two with that little plus, substance abuse prevention and addressing the promotion of healthy behaviors together, you can see, move to the right, greater likelihood of improving mental and physical health. I'd say other things, performance, success, confidence, et cetera, that we saw. Physical outcomes, mental outcomes, social, emotional outcomes, all come from addressing substance use prevention along with promoting protective healthy behaviors. So that's why that's this interactive model. And when you improve mental and physical health, that makes substance abuse prevention and healthy behavior promotion even easier. In terms of research showing the effectiveness or the efficacy of addressing multiple risk behaviors together in programs, rather than just addressing, let's say, e-cigarette prevention or physical activity promotion, addressing multiple behaviors together, there's two really important reviews of research that were published in 2018. The first one showed that one-time as well as multi-health consultations and group sessions had a significant impact in preventing youth substance use. So by addressing multiple risk behaviors, we can have an even greater impact on substance use. Secondly, the review of studies of universal school-based interventions that address multiple risk behaviors were shown to prevent tobacco, alcohol, illicit drug use, antisocial behaviors, and improve physical activity. So these reviews of interventions that address more than one risk behavior at once shown them to be effective and maybe even cost-effective, cost-saving, time-saving. So now let's take a look at evidence-based substance use prevention programs that address fitness and health. In other words, multi-behavior programs, integrated programs, programs that integrate substance use prevention with the promotion of wellness behaviors. Are there evidence-based programs out there? The short answer is yes. And so let's take a look at them. So we did this by going to the evidence-based registry, Blueprints for Healthy Youth Development. So we went to Blueprints for Healthy Youth Development. And the first thing we did is in that searchable database, we searched for the terms using alcohol, tobacco, illicit drugs, and physical health and well-being outcomes. And what we came up were two evidence-based programs that address substance use and physical health and well-being. And these two evidence-based programs were the Sport Prevention Plus Wellness program, which we offer at Prevention Plus Wellness. And the second was Athletes Training and Learning to Avoid Steroids, or the ATLAS program. So those are two programs, evidence-based, that integrate prevention, substance use prevention, with fitness and health promotion. But we didn't stop there. What we did was we did another search on Blueprints for Healthy Youth Development. And this time what we did was we put in search terms poor diet and exercise risk and protective factors. And we came up with 5 evidence-based programs. And you can see them here. The first is, again, Sport Prevention Plus Wellness came up. That's one of our programs. In Shape Prevention Plus Wellness, that's also one of our programs. The third program was Positive Action. So there's actually 3 programs. There are 2 other programs, but these other 2 programs did not address substance abuse prevention. So we're not really going to focus on them, because we're really interested in programs that address substance use prevention with the promotion of fitness and health. So essentially we came up with 5 evidence-based programs found on this database. And so let's take a look at all 5 of them, starting with Sport PPW. You could learn more by just going to our website, preventionpluswellness.com, look under programs and pull up sport, but you can see the description in the blue block there. It's a single session health promotion program that promotes physical activity in sports, healthy breakfast and nutrition, sleep and stress control, and how alcohol interferes and is counterproductive to achieving those behaviors, the benefits of those behaviors, and the future desired images associated with those behaviors. In other words, being more fit, active, healthy, successful in the future. And so that communication is all part of the Sport PPW program in a single session. It integrates all those behaviors, and it includes, we'll talk more about it, screening health behaviors, feedback about those health behaviors, and goal setting about those health behaviors. And the sport program comes in high school and middle school and elementary school versions. That's sport. The second program identified as evidence-based in the Blueprints for Healthy Youth Development registry was In Shape. In Shape is a version, I should say, of sport, but for young adults. So whereas sport, again, you know, we have programs for high school, middle school, elementary school, so essentially 8 to 18 years of age. The In Shape program is from 18 to 25, 26, so it's young adult program. Same thing, one session, screening and brief intervention, addresses the promotion of different kinds of physical activity, and healthy nutrition and sleep and stress control, and the avoidance of alcohol, particularly harmful alcohol use and tobacco use. That's the In Shape Prevention Plus Wellness program. The other 3 programs that were identified, or there are 2 other programs, I can't remember. Positive Action. Positive Action is a school-based social emotional learning program for students in elementary or middle school, and focuses on healthy behaviors and risk behaviors. And but this is a longer program. It's 140 15-minute lessons per grade 5 through 6, and 82 15 to 20-minute lessons for grades 7 to 8. So there's much more commitment to an actual curriculum if you're interested in positive action. Atlas is unique in that it's very narrowly aimed at athletes, particularly adolescent athletes, school athletes, that are also engaged in weight training as part of their athletics. So there's there's a 7-session classroom curriculum, then there's 7 weight room skills training sessions. So, but the focus is very good. It's on physical activity, it's on sport performance, it's on nutrition, and on avoiding anabolic steroids and other substance use. So that's the Atlas program. So there's just 4 programs. All 4 of those, of course, evidence-based, based on a review and the research, and posted on Healthy Youth posted on the registry. But I just forgot the name of the registry. There it is, Blueprints for Healthy Youth Development. Now let's take a look lastly at three-step prevention plus wellness model, this evidence-based model. I say it's evidence-based because it's a screening and brief intervention practice that's considered evidence-based practice according to SAMHSA, NIDA, and NIAAA, and other organizations, Academy of Pediatrics, etc. Three-step process that all prevention plus wellness programs use, whether it's sport, whether it's in shape, whether it's marijuana PPW, opioid PPW, vaping PPW, et cetera. Step one, you screen youth for their health habits. That includes substance use, as well as these other healthy behaviors, physical activity, sports, breakfast, nutrition, sleep, stress control. And that increases their awareness of their health habits. Secondly, you provide feedback using positive image terms like fit, healthy, active, successful, designed to trigger future images of themselves unconsciously. Very, very motivational kind of an approach you use very frequently in all kinds of advertising, marketing, but we're not promoting a product, we're not promoting a purchase of something, we're promoting a healthy lifestyle. That's what we're promoting. We're not promoting buying cigarettes or tobacco or clothing or cars. We're promoting youth to engage in a healthy, productive a lifestyle. And that includes engaging in the wellness behaviors and showing how alcohol or other substance use is counterproductive, increases motivation for change, links those important behaviors. And then the third step is a goal setting, which is the action piece. And you walk youth through goal setting to get them to initiate behavior change. That's what this is all about. PPW programs, prevention plus wellness programs, is all about motivation and changing behavior. And so the goal setting is critical because research shows goal setting is essential to behavior change. Unique goal setting with PPW programs, not just to avoid substance use, but to also increase one or more protective healthy behaviors. It could be nutrition or breakfast. It could be physical activity or sports. It could be sleep. It could be stress control. Or it could be something else based on one of our other prevention plus wellness programs. So that's the three-step process. And the more youth engage in goal setting, the more likely they develop self-efficacy and the more likely they develop self-regulation skills and learn to shape their own health habits. Very, very critical skill. Just to give you a little sense of what this looks like, this three-step model of screening, feedback, goal setting, let's look at screening. Here's some sample questions that we use in our prevention plus wellness programs. What sports or physical activities did you play in the last year? Does the youth participate in physical activity at least 30 minutes, in other words, on a regular basis, so regular physical activity like riding a bike, running, walking, swimming, etc. Number 3, does the youth usually eat a healthy breakfast every morning? There's some examples there. So there is some education, or there's some examples to guide the youth. Number 4, usually get 8 or more hours of sleep. Now with the younger kids, with children, we're talking about more, 9 or more hours. But other than that, primarily 8 or more hours of sleep with the adolescents and even young adults. Number 5, does youth practice stress control most days? Now, related to stress control, healthy breakfast and nutrition, adequate sleep, regular physical activity, all critical to stress control. But upon that, you can build these other strategies under number 5, meditation, yoga, prayer, deep breathing, a time in nature, etc. And then lastly, your substance use question. For sport and in shape, primarily alcohol. For our marijuana PPW program, of course, the measure is going to be cannabis, etc. So you're assessing youth to get them to think about, what are my health behaviors, a whole range of them, bring them to their awareness. Second phase in this 3-step process, you provide brief positive messages that integrate the promotion of fitness and health with the avoidance or prevention of substance use. This is a 2-step messaging process. And the idea here is to trigger mental a mental picture of themselves being healthier and fit and active and successful, and avoiding substance use. So this is all about increasing motivation. There's 2 steps to this. Step 1, you want to identify for your youth all the positive benefits, and particularly any positive images that could occur or result from engaging in a particular health behavior. Now, here the example in quotes is, young people who engage in regular physical activity tend to feel energetic, sleep better, and look more active, fit, and confident. So what you see there is we've got identified the group or the target audience, young people. We've got the target behavior, regular physical activity, and then we've got image benefits underlined: energetic, active, fit, confident. Again, these trigger unconscious images of themselves, and very, very desirable and motivational, and even other benefits like sleep better. And then on the right, you even have a picture. So you have an illustration. You want to show some samples of youth so that you see models of themselves, representations of themselves. And that's the first step. Number 1, you highlight the benefits of the wellness behavior. Again, it could be different types of physical activity or sports. It could be breakfast or other nutrition like fruits and vegetable consumption. It could be getting 8 or more hours of sleep. It could be practicing stress control or other healthy behaviors. That's the first step. Second step is then you link how substance use, 1 or more substance use, is counterproductive or a barrier or is harmful to achieving that wellness habit and achieving those benefits and those images. So, quote, marijuana use can reduce your energy level needed to participate in regular physical activity and achieve your fitness goals of being in shape, looking good, and feeling fit and active. So you just link, in this case, marijuana, really it damages your energy level. It takes away the energy needed to achieve regular physical activity and these benefits. Okay, that's the 2-step messaging process. Here's sort of an extended view of it. If you were to create your own messaging, rather than use our existing Sport and EnShape or other PPW programs, you could do that. On the left, what you do is you start with a healthy behavior, physical activity, in this case, PA, and you come up with some images and some benefits like physical activity results in number 1, high energy, being fit, being active, being friendly, being successful. And then you make parallel list of, let's say you're interested in preventing marijuana, you write barriers. And so while physical activity increases high energy, marijuana saps energy from you and makes it more difficult to engage in physical activity. Number 2, by being physically active, you're more likely to be fit. If you look over to the right, physical activity, you're more likely to eat junk foods, and that's going to harm your fitness, and so on. So you draw those comparisons, those linkages between physical activity or nutrition or whatever benefits, and how alcohol or marijuana or e-cigarettes is going to interfere and harm that. Give you some examples right out of some of our slides of our programs. Here's mentioning the benefits of physical activity in sports. There's there they are. Number 1, fun, make you look fit and strong. There's some image terms: feel good, give you lots of energy, do better in school and sports. And there's a nice picture, different ethnicities, different activities you show. That's the first part. There's the benefits. And now here's how alcohol interferes with relationships, how you do in sports, how you feel about yourself, reduces your energy level so you can't participate in sports, and really affects how well you do in work and school. Give you one more example in terms of breakfast and nutrition. Here's some benefits of breakfast and nutrition. By the way, healthy breakfast includes some of these foods. 5 or more servings of fruits and vegetables have a big effect on how you feel and more energy, and yet alcohol and marijuana robs your body of energy and really interferes with your nutritional uptake. So that's how you can draw those relationships. That's that feedback. That's the communication about each of those health behaviors. The last step in this three-step process is asking youth to take some action. And that's goal setting. It's goal setting and to increase action, to increase self-control. Our goal setting and our programs include these 6 components: having youth pledge or select certain types of substance use to avoid. Number 2, selecting a wellness behavior to increase. Number 3, stating a measurable behavior, so they can track it over the next 7 days. It's a short-term 7-day goal setting. Number 4, obtaining a co-signature to make it a contract to increase motivation for change. Number 5, identifying a place to post the goal. So there's some monitoring that goes beyond for that 7-day period. And then completing a 7-day calendar log to help remind them every day, are they achieving their goal for that day or not? Okay, that's really a very comprehensive goal setting strategy. And that's the 3-step process: screening, feedback, and goal setting. So let me just wrap it all up for you, because we covered a lot today. Number 1, the great majority of American adolescents are experiencing multiple risks to their physical and mental health, substance use, and many chronic disease risks as well. Number 2, teachers, coaches, parents, and others who work with youth should promote sports and physical activity and breakfast and nutrition and sleep, along with promoting the avoidance of or preventing alcohol and drug use for the development, for the greatest positive development and performance of their youth, whether it's on the field or off the field, in school, at work, at home, whatever. Number 3, there are a few existing evidence-based programs that already exist that integrate substance use prevention with fitness and health promotion. Of course, the 2 offered by us that are evidence-based are Sport and In Shape, Prevention Plus Wellness, but we have a whole bunch of other programs, adaptations of Sport and In Shape, that address marijuana and opioids and vaping and racial injustice and others in different formats, programs and media campaigns and videos. So a lot of good stuff based on the same line, where we have multi-health behavior programs to be more efficient and to address the fact that youth experience multiple risks that influence their physical and their mental well-being. And that's why number 4, the 3-step screening, feedback, and goal setting, screening and brief intervention model offered by Prevention Plus Wellness is so important. And you could pick it up right now and you could use it and create your own messaging for youth in your own goal plans if you want. Or you can go to preventionpluswellness.com and take a look at our existing programs and media campaigns and training, all at preventionpluswellness.com. Okay, and that's it. I'm going to pause here and see if anybody has any questions or comments. Remember, everybody who's registered will receive a copy of these slides, a link to the recorded webinar, and a CEU certificate for 1 hour. And so let me see. If you have a question, if you have a comment, go to the comments on your toolbar and go to the Q&A and type it in. I'm going to just wait a couple minutes and make sure everybody has an opportunity to respond. While you're doing that, I just want to thank you all for what you do. God bless you all for what you do for youth, for families in your region, to promote and protect the health and well-being of young people, whether that's children or young adolescents or older adolescents or young adults, even adults, high risk or general populations. We have things at Prevention Plus Wellness, I think, that can help you. And if you don't have the resources, no problems, do check out our website, preventionpluswellness.com, and look under the heading of resources, because we do have quite a few free resources for you and your organization to start the process now to address not just substance use, but to link substance use with these positive behaviors and positive images so that you can improve the whole health or a broader health of youth. And so important because, again, young people are suffering with regard to their, particularly their mental health, but also physical health. and well-being. So I don't see any comments. I'll just give you just another minute. Let's do that, another minute. Make sure everybody's had a chance if they want to write a comment. I didn't see anything. I see nothing. No, we got a very small group because again, it's summer. And so we'll be taking a break here, I think, and then reconvene with our, of course, next week we're going to be at CADCA, but after that, I think maybe we'll reconvene with our, with our regular webinars in a couple of weeks when everybody starts getting, more focused on coming back and doing the important prevention work that you all do. So in the meantime, don't hesitate to go to our website, preventionpluswellness.com, drop in your email and your name so that you're on our mailing list so that you get notified of future webinars and other resources that we offer on our website. All right, thank you so much, everyone. Have a great and safe day and a safe summer, I should say, summer break. And if you need anything from us, don't hesitate to reach out to us at our website, preventionpluswellness.com. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.